Hello, Dr. Rich. You want to say anything about today's program?
Well, I think when it comes to this election, I think the most important thing to realize, a lot of people are making this about a mandate on Trump. A lot of people don't like what Trump says. I get it. He can be offensive at times. But at least you know where he stands. You're not having people double speaking like in the past. You've seen a lot of politicians will say one thing to one group, another thing to another group. He's a man of conviction. And even though you may not like what comes out of his microphone, we hope we like what comes out of his pen. We hope you like the strong relationship he has with Prime Minister Modi. We hope we understand that the things he's trying to build is to preserve the American dream for the immigrants and minorities from all over the world. The same thing that U.S. Impact is about, having the opportunity to preserve something that has bonded us as the largest and the oldest democracies in the world, to have an ally in strategic places in the world. India is surrounded by enemies. It's good to have somebody you can rely on to hold out their hand in friendship, even if it comes to defense industry, when it comes to production, when it comes to industry, to have a nation that's going to be strong ally of India in the future, to give a strong place to immigrate from too, when it comes to great IT jobs and medical jobs and business opportunities that are preserved right here in America for future generations. So I ask people, when they vote, don't vote based on personality. Don't vote based on if you like somebody or not. Vote on what's best for your children and your grandchildren when it comes to the opportunities that they come to America for. Don't vote based on, I don't like this person, therefore I'm going to ruin future generations' opportunities. When that's what it should always be about. It should be about we the people, about the opportunities that are unique to America. We're immigrants from all over the world that we need to preserve for our future generations.
Based on days, so Biden chose Kamala Harris as a VP. So to attack some Indian votes, you want to say anything?
So Kamala is known not, even though she's half Indian, she's not been very friendly to Indian policy. And now she's going to try to say things that are going to be pandering now. But when she talks to one group, if I'm talking to Indians, it's going to be one message. When I talk to the Pakistanis, it's going to be a totally different message. When I talk to Arabs, it's going to be entirely a different message. We want somebody with consistency and truthfulness. We're tired of politicians who talk out of both sides of their mouth, who promise one person one thing and another person another thing. We want consistency in a message. We want somebody you know can rely on even when the doors are closed and you're talking to somebody else. Think about what Kamala has said in the past. Think about who she's represented. Is she really a friend to the Indian community? Is she really a friend to what gives you the opportunities for the future? Whether it comes to American policy and what it's going to impact as far as the U.S. policy for future generations, or do you just want somebody who's going to tell you the right things at a certain time, but never be consistent in their message and give you those future opportunities based on what they're really going to do for policy, what they've done all along in Congress or in the Senate, like she has.
So Democrats are always blaming Donald Trump regarding the pandemic, Corona, okay? So as a doctor, what do you say?
If you think about a novel virus, where we started, what we knew about this virus, President Trump was more aggressive about attacking this when even the Democrats said, don't take it seriously, continue to socialize, continue. You can't look backwards and say they did something they didn't. We have recordings of Democrats saying just the opposite of Trump, because they always say the opposite of Trump, no matter what that is. If he says that hydroxychloroquine is safe, they'll say it's dangerous. If he says it works, they say it doesn't work. If he says the sky is blue, they'll say it's not. I mean, it doesn't matter what he says, they're going to be against it. And when he started taking the pandemic seriously, and he cut off flights from China, and he said we need to take this seriously, the Democrats said just the opposite, just like always. And then when he said we're going to put an investment into America to defeat this, when he streamlined the vaccination, they tried to hold it back because they don't want him to succeed. When they come up with good legislation to stimulate the economy that has everything to do with the economy and the virus, they want to make it about other things so that it will fail. They put in poison pills to make it fail. Think about what's happened in the last 2 years since Nancy Pelosi's taken over. It's a do-nothing Congress. They literally will not pass anything. Nothing of consequence. They spent their entire time trying to impeach President Trump, and they've gotten zero done. In the first 2 years of his presidency, you saw the most robust economy the world's ever seen. You saw the lowest unemployment in history for African Americans, the lowest unemployment in history for Hispanics. You saw the lowest unemployment in the last 70 years for females. You saw greater job opportunities than you've ever seen, more jobs than people. And we know that when we come here from India or anywhere else, where you have 1,000 people for one job, you come here, all you want is a fair shake. You want an opportunity because you know if there's more jobs than people, you have upward mobility, opportunities for everybody. The freedoms that we provide for you, but it doesn't matter what religion you are. The security that we have is going to protect your businesses. Those are all things the Democrats are fighting against, legislating against.
So President Trump is saying now after the elections, so many of the pharma companies will be established in US. So how do you see the healthcare relation between US and India?
Extremely strong. So first of all, India is a very advanced nation. It has great education system. It has great technologies. It's able to produce things at similar prices to China, which is fantastic. You want a country that you can rely on, that's not going to poison the well, so to speak. Somebody that you know isn't going to be against your own interests. And one thing we know from the great Indian immigrants that we have, ideal citizens, people who follow laws, people who want the best for other people, people who are productive, who raise good children, people who don't have, I don't see the American Indian population, when they have children, they're not overdosing, they're not suffering from depression, they're exceeding.
So that's our Dr. Rich McCormick. It is not only our duty, but it's our privilege to elect him. He's an all-rounder. He's a Marine who worked for 20 years, and in Marine, after that he came back. He had MBBS, he became a doctor, now he works in ER. Well educated, he has 4 degrees. We Indians value so much education, we cannot find a better candidate than Dr. Rich McCormick. So we as US Impact are supporting Dr. Rich McCormick. We endorse him and we want all of you to support him. Thank you.